welcome back to the channel. Today I am driving my Porsche 911 in the middle of winter. Most people put their 911s away. I am not most of those people. After buying this car over the summer, I've learned to realize that cars are meant to be driven and cars are meant to be used, because that's what they were originally designed for. And I've done small things along the way in order to make the car a little bit more comfortable, such as installing the Porsche Classic radio. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description below. And as time goes on, I continually try to improve the car, little by little, and I try to make it accustomed to my specific needs, such as the modification of the steering wheel, which is coming in the next few weeks. But nonetheless, as I've been getting acquainted with my vehicle over the past few weeks, I've learned the quirks that this vehicle has, little by little. As I get more acclimated with the car, I become more familiar with it, and I realize how great of a car the Porsche 911 is, especially those of the air-cooled variety. I'm learning to have a lot of fun with it, and I'm also learning my limitations when it comes to curves and when it comes to speed. It's also making me a much better driver, and I had to get myself accustomed to the floor-mounted pedals, because it's not like any other system. Unless you've driven Volkswagen Beetles in the past, you will not know. But if you've driven any air-cooled 911, or any 356 for that matter, which is a close relative to the original Volkswagen Beetle, you will realize exactly what I'm talking about. But the 911 is a great car, and I realize that more and more each day now that I own one. And with the G50 transmission, it is a lot more livable than the 915, because the 915 is the original version, or the predecessor to the G50. But it is such a great transmission. It really balances really well with this 3.2 liter engine. But the purpose of my drive today is to just stretch the legs of this vehicle. I'm the type of person that I never want to let a car sit. I don't want to engage it with a battery tender or do anything where I'm going to store the car away for an extended length of time. I want to be able to drive the car and stretch the legs from time to time. It's like a marathon runner who doesn't get the opportunity to train for 5 months out of the year. And just because he lives in the wrong region of the country, he doesn't run because it's too cold outside. Being from the north and being a former athlete myself, I trained in all kinds of weather. This same thing applies to this vehicle. This car will be driven in all weather. Of course, if it's snowing and there's extensive salt in the ground, the car will stay in its garage, which I think is the smart thing to do when it comes to vehicles now that they're climbing in value. Last I checked on P-Car Market or on Bring a Trailer or any of these car auction sites, a similar model with more mileage than mine went for close to $66,000. So being aware of what the value is, but also being an enthusiast, there's a delicate balance that I have to take into consideration when driving my vehicle on a regular basis. I have to be aware of these things, but at the end of the day, it's just a car and you have to drive it and you have to enjoy it for what it really is. The 911 to me is a vehicle that I had in the back of my mind ever since my childhood, especially this air-cooled one. Specifically a 1988, 1989 Carrera. It has been my favorite car for years. When I was a kid growing up, I had a 1/18 scale Porsche 911 impact bumper speedster in oak green metallic sitting on my mantle. Whenever I didn't want to do homework as a kid, my mom would just point towards that car and say, "You do your homework, you'll eventually get that car." Well, this car isn't necessarily a speedster, but this will do. So on that note, kids, do your homework and eventually you'll get a Porsche. Because one day you may end up in the car that you always dreamed about. And that has been my public service announcement. So if you like what I had to say, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Because nothing equates to the experience of driving your favorite car.